What's good, YouTube? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create this really smooth, distorted background rotating effect inside After Effects. And we're only going to need 2 effects in order to create this effect. In After Effects, I have this clip playing of Roddy Ricch from his music video. And what we're going to do in order to get started is we're going to rotoscope our subject. I'm sure most of you guys know how to rotoscope, but for those that don't, I'll be giving a quick rundown. So what we're going to do is double click this layer, and that pretty much just goes into the layer from the composition. And then you're going to want to grab the roto brush tool, and in order to adjust the size, you can hold the control button and then left click and drag your mouse, and that makes it bigger or smaller. And what we're going to do is rotoscope our subject, and you're going to want to make sure to get rid of certain parts that you don't want. If there are certain areas that you don't want to rotoscope, hold the alt button and then left click and then just drag over it, and it will get rid of those unwanted parts. You're going to want to be as precise as possible. So I'm just going to rotoscope my subject. So as you're rotoscoping, you just want to go frame by frame just to make sure that everything is going to be rotoscoped the way you want it to. Make sure that everything is accurately rotoscoped out, and once you check that, you want to then click the freeze button, and what that does is lock in the rotoscope of your subject. So after hitting the freeze button, we're going to then go back into the composition, and in the composition we have our rotoscope layer. What I'm going to do is go into the effects panel, and I'm going to increase the feather a little just to soften up the edges, and I'm going to decrease the shift edge, and I'm going to have that at about 70 should be good. And just like that, the edges feel a lot smoother. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this layer. Select the layer and then Control D to duplicate, and we're going to change the name of that layer and make it Roddy BG, which stands for background, so Roddy background. And then we're going to get rid of the roto brush effect for that background layer. Now if we play this, we have our rotoscope layer on the top, and then we have the background layer just playing at the bottom. So now in order to create this effect, what we're going to do is add an effect called motion tile to the background layer. I'm going to increase the output width and the output height to 400, and make sure to click mirror edges. So what that does is just pretty much just duplicates the background layer. So if we have that off, it's just going to be a black border around the background layer. We don't want that. And what we're going to do is animate the rotation. So I'm going to keyframe the rotation of the background layer at 0 in the beginning, and then I'm going to go 30 frames forward. So I'm going to hold the shift button and click page down, which goes forward every 10 frames. So shift, page down, 10, 20, 30. And I'm going to have this rotate a full 360. That's what we have so far. And make sure to easy ease the keyframes. So select the keyframes, keyframe assistant, and then easy ease, and also make sure to turn on the motion blur. What we're also going to do is keyframe the scale. We're going to keyframe the scale at 100% in the beginning. I'm going to go forward 15 frames, and I'm going to keyframe the scale at 60% just so it has this little zoom out effect, and then go towards the end and keyframe it back to 100%. So it creates this little zoom out effect and zooms back in. It's pretty subtle for now, and it will be a lot more noticeable as we continue with this effect. And what we're going to do is grab those keyframes, easy ease, and in order to actually make this smoother, what I'm going to do is go into the rotation keyframes and go into the graph editor, and I'm going to have it rotate in a little faster in the beginning. So I'm going to have influence at about 75. So what that does is it rotates in a little fast in the beginning, and then it just kind of slows down. And I'm going to also go to the graph editor for the scale. I'm going to have the influence around 75, so similar as the rotation keyframes. And what that does is really just creates a smoother effect. What we're going to do now is also keyframe the position. I'm going to keyframe position in the beginning at its original position, and then I'm going to go towards the middle, and I'm going to have it animate from the right to the left. I'm going to have that at about 760, and then I'm going to go towards the end and keyframe the position back to its original position, so 960, 540. Then make sure to grab those keyframes and easy ease them. And then what we're going to do is go into the graph editor and then create a similar graph as the other ones. So influence is at about 75, so it goes fast in the beginning and then slows down a bit, and then it goes out fast again. This is what we have so far. What I'm going to actually do is increase the output width and the height of the motion tile. I'm going to have it at 500. So as you guys can see, playing with the graphs makes this effect feel so much smoother and a lot more fluid. And then what we're going to do in order to really finalize this effect is add an effect called optics compensation. And what that's going to do is distort the background as the effect happens. So I'm going to keyframe the field of view at the beginning as 0, and you're going to want to make sure to click the reverse lens distortion, and then we're going to go towards the middle, and I'm going to keyframe the field of view at 80 and then go towards the end and keyframe it back to 0. Grab those keyframes, easy ease them, and then go into the graph editor and create a similar graph as the other ones. So have that at about 75. This is what we have for the final effect. Takes some time to render because of the effects that we're using, but that is the final effect. For the background, you can also customize the position, and you can have the background coming in from right to left. That creates a different look, or just keep it as it is from left to right. But yeah, that's all there is for this effect. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you guys found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.